In tonight's video, we're going to make a spooky cat Halloween moon card, and we're going to use the cat punch, and we'll also use the Wish for Everything stamp set. You'll want to hang on till the end because I'm going to show you how to make the moon a second way. Hi, I'm Joan and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan's Simple Papercrafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now, give me a second so I can turn the camera down and we can get started. Here's that spooky cat Halloween moon card that we're going to make tonight. And we are going to use the cat punch as well as a Wish for Everything sentiment stamp set. We're going to put the Happy Halloween from this part of the stamp set. And then we'll use a Wishing You a Trick-or-Treating, Candy-Eating, Frightful, Delightful Time on the inside of the card. So we'll get started, and we're going to stamp the moon first. And we're going to use the crushed curry, Daffodil Delight, I should have had these open already, So Saffron, and then Pumpkin Pie. And I am going to use 4 different blending brushes. They are stained, but it won't hurt anything because they are clean. So we'll just start with the So Saffron, and I am just going to get some paper to put out from underneath so that we won't be messing our work surface. So we will start, like I said, with the So Saffron. And I am just going to load the brush up with color. And then I'm going to start off here and then just get all over the card. And I want to mark the space that we're going to be using so we know where we're at. And I'm just going to put a pencil trace around this circle. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to get a little more So Saffron. Couldn't figure out what that knocking noise was. My light was hitting the microphone. So now I'm going on with Daffodil Delight, and I am just going to start off again off the paper, and then we'll go around. And we'll come in and do our crushed curry. And I'm just going to blend this So Saffron Okay, and the next thing is our pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to get the edges. Maybe a little bit more. And I'm coming back in with the So Saffron again, just to kind of blend everything together. And I think that's good. So I am going to close up these ink pads so they don't dry out on us. And so I don't stick my elbow in them. And I want to set this aside and let it kind of dry a little bit. And I'm going to try and get the ink off of these a little bit more by just rubbing it into the paper. And I will take these to the sink and rinse them out when we're done here. And that should take care of the color that's sitting on them. We also need to stamp our sentiment on the inside of the card and the Happy Halloween. So let's do our Happy Halloween first. And we're going to use the Memento ink in the Tuxedo Black. And I am just going to stamp off, because it looks like I got it a little bit overloaded. And I'll just do one stamp to weten it up again. And I'm got to stick my head in here. Sorry if I'm blocking your view. And I'm just going to stamp again at this end. Didn't like how that actually turned out. So see if I can get it more even. There, that's better. And I think, oh, we've got our inner sentiment, and let's get that done right away too. Now we can put this away, and we'll clean our stamps right away. I'm just getting the excess ink off on the paper here. And I've got our Stampin' scrub. And I've already sprayed this side with our Stampin' mist. So I'm just going to clean the stamp. And then I dried it on the other side. And when you look at this, there's a little raindrop on here. So that when you close it all off, you remember when you open it up that that's the side that you sprayed it. And then this has a sunshine, meaning that's the drying pad. So that's taken care of. And next we will take our paper that we need to work with. Let's start with our envelope. So we're going to glue the flap of the envelope. We'll put glue on there, and then we're going to stick this paper, this designer series paper, on the flap, and we'll trim it. And this designer series paper is coming from the Cutest Halloween designer series paper that's in the mini catalog. And I'm just going to bring it down our silicone mat, so if we go off the surface, we're not going to be making our mat all messy. And then we just simply put this on there using the flap as a guide. I need to take my glasses off so I can actually see the edge. So I was looking on this side just to make sure it wasn't over the edge of it. So I think we're good there. And I'm going to use my bone folder to just flatten the air bubbles out from behind the paper, between the two pieces of paper actually. And then we're going to just take our scissors and we're going to trim away the extra paper. And I'm going to just use the paper, the envelope, as a guide. And I'm going to turn the envelope and not the scissors. So there's our envelope. That piece is done. Next we'll want to score our card. This is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. We scored it on 5.5 inches, and then we're just going to use the boning folder to burnish that score, make a nice crisp edge there. Just trying to see if one looks better than the other, so we'll have this be the top. And we're going to glue this down on the inside. It should be dry now. And I'm just going to put glue, light line of glue all the way around. This is our multi-purpose glue that we have in the catalog, known as that Tombow glue. I just put it in this bottle with a needle nose tip for when I have to go and do really fine, delicate gluing, or when I need a little more finer line. So, oh, we don't want it on this side, so let's see if I can carry that off. And I'm going to just take some tissue to just get the excess glue off from there. That'll be covered up. I want this on the inside of the card. That's going to be covered up with the other cardstock, so that's fine. Maybe I'm going to have to put a little more glue on here again. I typically don't glue the inside right away as the first step, so I think that's why I went and grabbed the outside of the card. And I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch for a border all the way around. And we're going to use our bone folder to flatten any glue bubbles that are between the two pieces of paper. And a little bit seeped out, so let me just clean that off with my finger. Okay. Okay, so that is taken care of. And then let's prepare the front of the card. We are going to need to use a 4 inch by 5 1/4 on the very top of the card. But I'm not going to glue that down because I want to put another piece on top of that. And this is going to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, just giving us 1/8 of a, actually 1/16 of a border all the way around of the purple. And now what you could do to save on some paper is you could cut something out if you had a sentiment that you wanted and cut out of here. Just don't want to go too far out so that you compromise the strength of that card, and as well as the trim around the edge of the card. Wasn't ready for using anything on purple, so we're just gonna use the whole cardstock. Okay, then what we need to do next is put our ribbon around, and what I have here is some black and white twine. We're not using this today, but it would work as well, or you could use the baker's twine. And what I have here is about a 25-inch piece of thread or twine, and it's going to go around 3 times. So I am just going to hold it in the back and wrap it 3 times around. So you could probably use it, cut quite a bit off of here. Maybe use 22, 23 inches, and you'd still be able to get by. So I'm just going to pull the 2 ends tight, and then I'm going to tape them all down. Just using regular Scotch tape. And then we're going to use some glue dots to mimic tying them in a knot. And so I will use 1 glue dot and bunch everything up onto that glue dot, and it'll look like it's been all tied right in this area. Let me see, stuck to my finger, and then I am just going to bring that up over the top, bring the next one up over the top, and then kind of spread these out a little bit on the edges. Okay, so we've got that where they're all bunched together there. And then we're going to make a bow out of this next set of strings. So I've got 3 pieces of string cut at 15 inches, maybe 14 to 15 inches. And then I'm just going to make a loop about 4 inches in on each end, and then overlap those loops and pull the one loop down into that opening. And then just tighten this up a little bit. So there we have our bow. And we're going to take the glue dot to get it onto the cardstock. So I'm just going to grab glue dot from here and put it where those other glue dots were. And then we can trim this ribbon off. So I am going to trim it at about 2 inches off of each end. And I'm going to use my other scissors because these I use when I'm cutting paper. And I don't want I want these because this will be nice crisp edge on the ribbon. And then they can fray later on, but I don't want them all frayed a whole deal right now. Okay, so we've got our ribbon, and let's go ahead and assemble that onto our card. And we're going to use dimensionals. And we're going to use our black dimensionals that we have in the catalog. It is black Stampin' Dimensionals combo pack. It has the large ones and the small ones in them. And we're going to use the large ones on the card, and then we will use the small ones for when we attach the sentiment. So I'm going to just flip this over, and let's set this aside again. And I'm just going to put a large one in the corner here. And I am really going to heavy duty this up with dimensionals because I don't want it to fall apart when it goes through the rollers. And I will be mailing this. Sorry if you couldn't see that. I'm putting these in basically putting 3 on each side. 1 in each corner, and then 1 in the middle of each side. And then we'll put 1 in the middle of the card. And I'm using the black because it's going to be on black paper, and there's less chance of seeing black there or noticing the dimensionals there, where this one I used a white dimensional. So you can actually see that. And then I remembered I had the black ones there for such purposes. So we're going to use that. I'm going to go and use the other side of my Take Your Pick tool and just pull these dimensionals off. Just poke it inside and tear it up as an angle. You don't want to poke so hard that you go through the paper, the cardstock, but hard enough to actually break the paper. I've got that taken care of. And then I'm going to put it on here, leaving 1/8 of an inch around the border. I think that's good. Then we can put our Halloween sentiment on there. So let me just clip this off here. And I'm going to show you how to make the little flags on the end with just scissors. We do have a punch that will work as well, but I am going to show you, if you don't have a punch, how you can get along without. So you cut it in the middle and then just go up and meet it on each side. So snip it down the middle and then come from one end to that middle point, and then come from the other end to the middle point. And there you go. Let me just catch these scraps here. And we'll use, like I mentioned before, the small dimensionals in that same black. And we will put them on here. And I'm just going to take your pick tool to take off the paper backings, and then we'll flip this over and stick it on the card. Okay, we've got that taken care of. And we need to get our moon taken care of now. So I've got our largest circle die, and I am going to die cut this in just a second. I will be right back. Actually, I am not going to die cut just yet. I am going to stamp the cat out of here because it's a lot easier to hold on to it when we have the whole card base there. And so I'm seeing the bottom of the circle here. I don't know if you can notice it, but I want to cut the cat on the outside edge of that bottom circle. And so I've got a little bit there, a little bit right there, and a little bit right there. I'm actually going to take it up a little higher there. Okay. So I've got a little bit right there, and then a little bit starting right there and coming all the way to here. I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and punch. And now we're going to take our circle die and we'll put it on the die cut, and we'll cut the rest of this cat out and the moon. All right, I'll be right back. And there we have it. We'll just put some glue on there and we'll glue him down. And actually, I think we're going to try using some dimensionals because I believe this one we glued down. Yeah, this one we glued down. And we're going to try putting some dimensionals on this one to see if we can't get a different look, a little better appeal there. So I'm going to bring in our Stampin' dimensionals again. And let's see if I can't get him. Put one right there. Right there. And I'll cut one in half, I think. See if I can get that down closer. There we go. And then I think we'll put one more back up here. And then we'll use our regular dimensionals. And then I think the smaller one's right around the cat. And I think I'm going to do it on each side of the ear because I don't want that to get knocked off with the rollers, I think. So we'll take the paper backings off. Try to take that off. And then we'll just flip this over. There we go. Little dimension on that. Okay. So I asked you to hang on while I showed you another moon. So this one we're going to use So Saffron cardstock, and we'll build a little color on that. So I am just going to, again, outline my moon. And I'll do it for both of these. And then we're going to just take some So Saffron and a Dauber and just add some coloring with the So Saffron. So this is just going to add a little more coloring. It should be a little more darker than what the So Saffron paper is. And we're just going to kind of rub like clouds, or just add a little coloring there. And we'll do the same with this one. I'm just trying to rub out some of the lines. I think that'll be the bottom of the cat, so that should be fine there. All right, I think that's plenty. And then we're just going to die cut these, and we'll do the stamp punch first. So we are going to get a little bit of that outline of the stamp, and then we're just going to punch. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. And then we will die cut these. So I've got these die cut, and we'll just do glue on the back of these. And let's do this one first. Let's get our silicone mat back in here to kind of protect this work surface. And I am just going to lay this down about midway. Kind of eyeball it, center it. Okay, that one works. And let's do this one as well. So let's take these out of here and see if we can't figure out which ones have been done with the paper and which ones have been done using the blending brushes. Got any clue? I'm going to say this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll give you a second to guess. And the ones that were done using the blending brushes are number 1 and number 2. And then 3 and 4 were done with our die cuts. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji. That means you like it. And will you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Wednesday, October 20th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing something fall-like. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.